Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, I'm your host, Michelle Stern. So, you saw the title, I Told You So, and you see the British stories. And you must be wondering, oh, well, me they tell you? Well, you remember somebody tell you said that Englishman not quite right up here, so, and that he was getting from bad to worse? Well, that budget speech proved exactly what it is that I was saying. When you listen to it, it makes sense in parts, especially when I point out the problems and the problems and that. But when I started to talk about the taxes and Melissa and the housing and what the government should do about the housing, that is when this thing don't make no sense. And I am going to show you shortly. Now I'm going to have to play the clip, and I know some of you say you know like hearing, but in order to make the point, I have to play the clip for you and tell you which part in flawed argument is in a budget speech. Now, before I get into it though, I want to ask everybody, give the video a thumbs up from now on. Please, I know me not remember if you ask you later, so please give the video a thumbs up from now on. You know, when me start, especially me I talk about English, man, it really, yeah, yes. So, when I ask you to give the video a thumbs up, please share the video as well as leave a comment in the comment section and subscribe. And of course, I thank you in advance. Good. So, make we get down into it.
We have a better plan. A better plan. Madam Speaker, looking at the tax measures, they are problematic. 10.1 billion Jamaican dollars of tax package is on sweetened beverages and will mainly come out of the pockets of low-income households. Similarly, 3.6 billion Jamaican dollars is increasing as an increase in the Environmental Protection Levy, the EPL, which will be borne by consumers again when manufacturers and importers pass on those costs to consumers. Jamaicans are already facing hard times with a cost of living crisis after the Melissa disaster. It's going to be made even worse by this tax package that the government is imposing on the people, and it's coming at a time when the Middle East war is going to start giving us a severe beating as well.
So you heard that. He was concerned about two of the items in the tax package: the sweetened beverages tax and the environmental protection levy. Those were the two he mentioned, right? So, Mr. Ray and nephew, the tax on alcohol being increased and on cigarette, mention of that. And I don't recall if he made any mention at all about the increase in the GCT level on the tourism sector. But he is concerned about these two because according to him, Madam Speaker, looking at the tax measures, they are problematic. $10.1 billion of tax package is on sweetened beverages and will mainly come out of the pockets of low-income households. Similarly, $3.6 billion Jamaican is an increase in the Environmental Protection Levy, which will be borne by consumers again when manufacturers and importers pass on those costs to consumers. Jamaicans are already facing hard times with a cost of living crisis after Melissa disaster. It's going to be made even worse by the tax package that the government is imposing on the people. You hear that? The long and short of what he's saying, as far as I understand him, is that Melissa came as a Category 5 hurricane and mashed up a lot of people's lives. 24,000 people, it was estimated, houses totally destroyed. 56% of the economy gone. And the government, in these circumstances, took the decision to raise revenue by introducing a new revenue measure, 18.1 billion, and continue with the NHD drawdown. He's saying that they were unimaginative and there are things that they could have done to raise the tax rather than impose this burden, which, according to him, Jamaica is already facing hard times. Jamaica is already facing hard times with a cost of living crisis after the Melissa disaster. So, this is his argument. He is therefore trying to give the impression that the $10.1 billion on sweetened beverages plus the environmental protection levy that the people will now have to pay is going to be so burdensome that it is unfair to them. The government shouldn't put no tax on them. Them should find other creative ways to raise revenue. But here's the problem. He's saying that the tax package on sweetened beverages of 2 cents per milliliter, that him says is going to put a burden on the Jamaican people. And the increase in the environmental protection levy of 0.8%, that him said when them two combine, it'll go lick them hard. And this is supposed to create hardship on the people. So what we're going to do now, we are going to do a little calculation to see just how much of a burden that the tax on sweetened beverages is going to be on the pockets of poor people. What do you say to that? You agree? Yes. So how much is it for a soda again? Let us say a soda, a 500 milliliter soda in bottle, plastic bottle, is for say $200. It's either 200 or 220 retail. But let's say 200. And you walk into a supermarket and you see somebody in front of you with 6 of those, right? At 2 cents per milliliter, the tax on that bottle of soda, 500 milliliter soda, would be how much? $10. So at $10 increase, you're looking now at a price of $210. So the consumers would only be paying $10 more on the Pepsi. And this is what he's saying is going to make matters worse. The tax package, the $10 on the price of the soda is what will make matters worse for poor people. That's what I'm saying. $10 per 500 milliliter of soda. You buy Pepsi or you want to buy D&G, right? $10. So the consumer who is buying 6 bottles of those, say, let's say Pepsi for argument's sake, they will be paying an additional $10 on the item due to the tax. Had it not been for the tax, they won't be paying it. So let us do the maths. 10 times 6 or how much? How much you get? I get $60. What you get? Yes, same thing? Right. So on those 6 soft drinks that they're buying, they're going to be paying $60 extra. And this is what this nincompoop is telling us is going to impose a burden on taxpayers, particularly after them face the disaster of Melissa. $60 for those 6 bottles of 500 milliliter soft drink is going to place a burden on the Jamaican people. Then now it comes to the environmental protection levy. Now, when it started out, it was first imposed in the 2003-2004 budget, and that would have been by Omar. And he gave his reasons. When you look at the amount of waste and the $1 billion that the Jamaican government was paying, mostly out of 50% of which was coming out of property tax, the rest, I suppose, from the consolidated fund. And a lot of this waste is being foisted upon the environment. So he created this environmental levy. And at the time, it was $2 per kilogram on the container, whether it was imported or it was manufactured in Jamaica, the plastic ones. Then over time, it changed, I think it was by Portia this time around. It was changed from $2 to a percentage. And that percentage would have been 0.5%, that's half of 1%. It would have been the value now of the container. And so what the government has done is increased it by by more than 50%, to 0.8%. So That is a marginal cost. And I say it's marginal because we did a little research and we found out that for a 500 milliliter clear plastic soda bottle, like Pepsi bottle, it costs around $50, less than $50 to manufacture. But we're going to round it up to $50. So the environmental levy on it now would be 0.8%. And that would now total $4. So you talk about now $10 for the soft drink with the sugar in it and $4. So the total of the tax is $14. And that is what the British tourist is saying is going to send poor people what? Is going to place a burden on poor people. So when you multiply now those 6 soft drink by $14, let me see how much we get. Well, I got $84. What did you get? You got $84 too? Yes. And this is the total of the environmental levy and the new tax that was imposed on soft drink. Increase the tax burden of the poor consumers by $84 if you continue to buy your sugary soft drink, for argument's sake. $214 each. $14 gone on any one of them selling for $200. And if you buy 6 bottles, all you're paying is $84 extra. This is what he is calling a burden on taxpayers, the poor taxpayers. How much ice cement that can buy? That is what he's talking about. Yes, that's what he's talking about when he said that it's going to be made even worse by this tax package that the government is imposing on the people. $84. This man is clearly out of touch with reality. Did he do the calculation? Did he check what the cost would have been before him opening stupid mouth? Eh? Or is it just him trying to be smart or looking to score cheap political points? Trying to give the people the impression that somehow this tax is going to be so burdensome on them, especially after Melissa, that it is what him say? Problematic. $84. If you're buying 6 soda, if you have your children, you're buying 6 soda for the children. Remember, you have some parents that buy the little tubby one, them, which is even less. But him want the people of Jamaica to know, because him take them for idiot, that there's a tax burden to be borne that is unconscionable and problematic. That the poor people are going to be burdened by this heavy tax of $14 on a $200 soft drink. Now, I want you to remember, though, I know that the environmental levy it was an increase from 0.5% to 0.8%. So the increase was 0.03%, $1.50. So the government put an additional $1.50 per 500-liter bottle, assuming that they manufactured at $50 and they told me it's manufactured for less. So when you think about this man standing in the parliament and telling the Jamaican people that what you need for economic growth is integrity in government, he can't open him out anymore and talk about the statutory declaration. You notice that? I was listening to see if he was going up on that. Right? Him can't go up on it because up to now, him won't certify yet. Lucky for him, the next one will be due next year, March 31, for the end of this year. So him have more time to spare himself the embarrassment. But I suspect them soon sort out what they need to sort out and certify him soon. Right? But it certainly is taking one hell of a long time. So that, in my view, is either him being deceptive or careless or stupid. Deceptive because him knows that only $84 it will cost the poor man if he's buying these sodas, 500 milliliter bottle sodas, for his children or himself to go to work or whatever it is that he's buying it for. Put them house and drink every now and then, with the breakfast or dinner or lunch or whatever. Right? Deceptive. coming out and creating all this excitement about hardship on poor people. If he knew damn well it's only $84 extra, they would have been paying for those 6 bottles. Careless. If he never did the calculation himself to find out what it is that it will cost people, and then determine from that that yes, this is a burden. So if he never did that and creating all this excitement about burden on poor people, right? And how the tax is problematic, it would indeed be careless, stupid, if him really did the calculation, as him should, and found that if a consumer were to buy 6 bottles of soft drink, 500 milliliter soft drink, it will cost them $84 extra on them grocery bill. And he believed that that actually is going to create a burden. Then it must be damn stupid. No, which one do we lean on? Deceptive, careless, or stupid? Possibly all three. But when I come to think about it, definitely all three.
Madam Speaker, during the last general election in 2025, in the campaign, with its manifestos and its debates and its platform speeches, the Prime Minister did not even hint at, much less disclose, his intention to take the massive salary increase that he claimed he had given up when the heat reached him after Nigel Clark announced this massive salary increase on May 16th, 2023. Not a peep out of him in the election campaign. Can you imagine that in February this year, a month or so ago, we suddenly learned that effective from payday last September 2025, right after the election, the Prime Minister would be receiving his big salary after all. Madam Speaker, that is the latest chop. That is a real brogad move. It was a shameful deception, not worthy of the high office that you hold. Not worthy.
Now, due to the constraint of this very limited language that we speak, the English language, I don't know what other words are there to describe this man. But this man must be a madman in a clean clothes, in addition to being deceptive, careless, and stupid. He is receiving $25 million as opposition leader. And he too was given a massive increase of over 240%. Him quarreled and said it was too much and him felt uncomfortable about it. And he was going to give up 80% of the increase to charity. When you look at his statutory declaration, you see clearly that he took his parliamentary salary. He took the $25 million from 2023 until up till now, right? As the opposition leader. And the Prime Minister was getting $9 million a year. The people were vexed and upset, and him say, all right, I am not going to take it. Him don't know if him have any power to stop them from paying him that salary. But he never explored it. He wasn't interested in exploring it. The Prime Minister certainly got them to reverse his salary and keep the whole one. Having realized that the Prime Minister had done so, him could have got to do the same thing too. Now that him can get them to reverse the decision because he wasn't comfortable with the 240% increase. That was what he told people. But then him took it. And we hear nothing more about the charity that him donated. As a matter of fact, if I remember right, he said he would have, Mark Gold, let me talking now. He said that he would have given up 80% of the increase until the public sector wage negotiations were settled. That is what he said was the reason why I wasn't comfortable with the increase, if my memory served me right. But what was it that Andrew Holness had said when he gave up the salary increase in response to the public outrage? We're going to be looking now at the Jamaica Observer's article of February 20, 2026. And the headline was Wholeness to Accept Substantial Salary Increase. And this is what they said in the article. In a statement on Friday, Wholeness's office said after careful review and internal consultations, it was agreed that the Prime Minister should conform to the established emoluments and remuneration for the office. It means that Wholeness's 9.16 million salary will move to $28.5 million. The Prime Minister's salary, had he accepted the increase, would have risen in increments across a 3-year period ending at $28.5 million in 2024. The changes to take effect on the Prime Minister's salary as of September 2025, and adjustments are also to follow for former Prime Ministers and their surviving spouses. So, what is it saying so far? Had the Prime Minister taken his salary as Mark Rowling took his, the Prime Minister would not have gotten $28 million as of the time when it was increased. It was to be increased from 9 million to one figure, and the next year to another figure, and then the next year to the 28.5 million. That is my understanding of what it is saying. But here the observer is giving us more information. As of September 2025, the adjustments were also made for the former Prime Minister. So Bruce Golding, PJ Patterson, and Portia Simpson all got the increase, because remember how the rule set up is that whatever it is that the current Prime Minister's pay is, the former Prime Ministers, they get a matching pay as well. I don't know how much of the Prime Minister's salary that the surviving spouses would get, but that is the rule. So everybody was getting $9 million when Mark Rowling had drawn down him $25 million. PJ, Portia, and Bruce were stuck at the $9 million because Andrew's salary was $9 million. So now that Andrew's salary moved now to the 28.5 million, they just decided to take it one time. Because remember, he had foregone the increase. So he would have been entitled to 28.5 by last year. So everybody else's salary now increase. And that is a position that they are all in now. The Jamaica Observer reminded us of what it was that Andrew Holness had said in 2023 when the people got very upset about the massive increase. In announcing the change, that is Jamaica House, I suppose, Prime Minister's office, the statement referenced Holness's comments in 2023 when he turned down the increase. And they are quoting what Andrew Holness had said at the time. Another Prime Minister in the future or a new mandate may give an opportunity to reconsider the Prime Minister's salary. I want you to please call that bad color dunce for me. The chopper. The number one chopper in Jamaica. Call him for me. The British tourist. Sir, what do you understand the word a new mandate to mean? You say you're very bright, you went to Oxford. Me never go to Oxford, so you help us and explain to people what it is that Holness meant by another Prime Minister in the future, or a new mandate may give an opportunity to reconsider the Prime Minister's salary. What you understand new mandate to mean? My understanding of what a new mandate is that when he go back to the electorate, in other words, him being re-elected Prime Minister in a general election. So the people would have been aware of the massive pay increase, and he said if him get a new mandate, he may consider taking it then. Right? He not take it at that time. So the deal was him going to the electorate, looking to be Prime Minister, and if the people were very upset about it, then they will not elect him. Right? That was the deal. Now you are saying you never come and remind the people and tell them, say, when he win him, I go take the salary. Why you think the people would care? You think the people stupid enough to believe, sir, you alone forget $25 million and the Prime Minister forget less than you and him do work, you not do no work? More than chat? You come now while you're making a big hullabaloo about it. Because why? You think you are the Prime Minister? You get $25 million a year. You never had no qualms to take the money. For we money. Even when you were illegal in our parliament. You take the money. You not no qualms about it. And know that the man for take him rightful salary. You ever have a problem with that? You know, sister, something wrong with your master? Well, no, you wouldn't, sister, something wrong with you because you're an idiot. An idiot wouldn't say that. Or you're damn mad. One of them. I don't know which. Right? Well, if you don't know there's something wrong with you, let me tell you. Something is desperately wrong with you. Hmm? Once somebody can't fool so. What do you think? You as the leader of the opposition now do not work. And you are upset because the prime minister is getting more money than you. Him shouldn't take it. Eh? Him shouldn't take it. So you know work. You felt comfortable being the one to take the $25 million. And him now must continue taking $9 million. And you know there's something wrong with you? You know what happened to you? Bad man. Bad man. Your mentality was formulated upon a slave plantation with your high notions of your own superiority over the black man. And you believe that you're supposed to get $25 million in salary. And the man will do the work, prime minister, the head of the government, must get less than you? Eh? No, man. I don't know what other word in the English language we call you. Imbecile, stupid, deceptive, careless, and stupid. Bad man. No, so that the word I kind of wear out. I have to go find one word for you. Imbecile, madman in a clean clothes. No, man, we need a special word for you. Fool. Mm-mm. No, we need a special word for you. I soon find one for you. And when we find that one for you, it's going to stick. You in the parliament talking about in order to have economic growth in this country, the first thing we need to have is integrity. Well, you know about that. Hmm? You believe that what you said in the parliament, trying to give the people the impression that the prime minister lied to them, when you clearly never do your research, or you well knows that the man say, are you lying? Are you a liar? Because if you knew that he said that if him get a new mandate, him go take the salary, right? Why are you in the parliament to create a big deal about it? Why you even bring it up when you know say you take 25 million? You're so stupid and dunce. You're so stupid and dunce that you don't realize that your $25 million was going to negate and make it look like I can't find the word that I soon find one for you here. Don't worry yourself. Soon find one for you. Hmm? You will get $25 million a year and you are complaining about the prime minister taking $28 million salary. As if to say you believe that as an entitled white man and Jew, that you must take $25 million and this black boy shouldn't look for get so much money. Hmm? You style up this nice big black man from St. Mary, Bobby Montague, and call him little boy. You remember that? So only someone little boy and him should not get no $28.5 million. Him should not get that. Not even a bad mind person would have opened them out and say a thing like that. Because you cannot process things that are logical. It is logical for a prime minister to get more money than the leader of the opposition. And if you have a problem with that, then there is some serious mental issues that go on with you, boss. Of all the stupid things that you say in the parliament Tuesday, that are the most idiotic. Hmm? People have it to say, you're a man that love your little rum, you know. And they have a thing to say that you love other little things too. Right? You did look sober to me, and you sounded sober to me, and you never look like, never you're not slurring, whenever you're not like that. But clearly, something is wrong with you. That slave plantation can't seem to come out of your head. Your slave ancestor, Benjamin Nunes, has stand up in the you strong. But I have news for you here, Mass Benjamin. You are nothing but a piece of trash, an evil piece of trash, and you never will be anything but an evil piece of trash. And nobody not count you. Right? Whatever powers you did have, Mr. Benjamin, back in 1835, well, you did dead by that time. You know how no power now. And all you're succeeding in doing, Mr. Benjamin, is making yourself look like the idiot that you are. Hmm? You vex because a prime minister will do the work of the country. I get more money than you. The matter of hierarchy and getting more pay than the lower rank is a very basic and simple understanding of any human being. But you, for some reason, having a difficulty in grasping it. It's a difficulty that you have in grasping it. That is why you have an issue. And I am no doctor, but I should think that a brain that cannot process something so simple for the brain to understand, and you can't grasp it, it is saying that there is a deficiency in your brain. You have a deficiency in your brain, and it is getting worse. Something is going on with you, Master. Something is wrong with you. Yes, you're an excellent friend I am to you. I am recommending that you go to the doctor and get an MRI. Don't be afraid. No, you men tend to be afraid of these little things. Go do an MRI upon your brain or a CAT scan. Your behavior in the parliament and your announcement, whoever wrote that speech and gave to you, you supposed to see the foolishness in it and take it out or reword it. You couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. How could you not have seen it? And you're supposed to be an Oxford graduate, a 60-year-old man. You're not you're not a young boy. You're 60 years old, a man of experience, who's supposed to, at this stage of your life, spot things. And if you're not able to spot things, it is telling you that there is something wrong. But what you do about it is your business, Master. All I can tell you is, and the folks in Jamaica, is that I had told you so. You hear it for yourself. I told you that this man narrated. What else could explain his behavior and his utterances? You see it for yourself now. All right. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. I'll be bringing you some more from the British tourist presentation at the Parliament. And yes, I know you hear it already, but I want to share some of my views and point out some things to you that you may or may not notice. Yes. So remember, please, if you have not yet done so, give the video a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comments section. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.